There are bridges in Europe that have watched 1,000 years of love stories pass beneath them. A square so still, it feels like the city saved it just for you. A city built on the edge of something that shouldn't exist. And one city that has made an entire world fall in love for hundreds of years. Every answer is ahead. There is a question almost no travel list answers honestly. Not where is romantic in Europe, but why? What separates a place that looks beautiful in photographs from one that genuinely changes something in you when you're standing there? Some of the most famous romantic destinations in the world are now too crowded to feel romantic at all. So we went looking for something different. 10 places where the feeling is still completely intact. And the one at the top may surprise you. Europe has always been the world's great stage for romance. From candlelit cities on the water to ancient hilltop villages glowing in the last light of day. But the most romantic places aren't always the ones you've seen 100 times. These are the 10 most romantic places in Europe. Tucked into a horseshoe bend of the Vltava River in southern Bohemia, Český Krumlov is one of Central Europe's most quietly devastating little towns. A medieval castle watches from above. At dusk, when the lanterns come on and the river goes still, the old town becomes almost eerily beautiful. Most visitors pass through in a single afternoon. The ones who stay overnight discover something else entirely. In the heart of Portugal's sun-warmed interior, the ancient city of Évora rises from the plains like something from another era. A Roman temple stands almost perfectly intact at its center. Granite columns glowing amber in the late afternoon. Bougainvillea spills over stone walls. The town's small, unhurried squares fill with golden light as evening comes. In Évora, romance arrives the way a sunset does, gradually, then all at once. Before Lisbon, before Porto, before almost every city on the Iberian Peninsula, there was Guimarães. The birthplace of Portugal carries centuries of history in a remarkably intimate package. A medieval castle, a Romanesque palace, cobblestones worn smooth by 800 years of footsteps. At dusk, it becomes both ancient and alive at the same moment. But the next destination takes this journey somewhere completely unexpected. Europe's smallest capital is also, in the right light, one of its most magnificent. Valletta sits on a narrow Mediterranean peninsula, its honey-colored limestone walls dropping straight to the sea. At golden hour, the stone deepens from cream to amber to bronze. The grand harbor below turns to copper. Its streets lead you toward the sea, and the feeling that the whole city is yours alone. This is a city that rewards those who stay late. If there is a place in Europe designed to take your breath away, it is the Bay of Kotor. A medieval walled city at the base of a mountain so steep, the old Venetian fortifications climb it almost vertically. The bay below is so still in the morning, it doubles everything. The mountains, the clouds, the church towers at the water's edge. At dusk, the walls above catch fire. Halfway through, and if what you've seen so far has felt intimate and candlelit, what comes next moves into a different register entirely. These are the places where romance stops being a feeling and becomes something you can see in the city itself. Some cities look beautiful. Toledo glows. Set on a rocky promontory above the Tagus River, Toledo spent centuries as the spiritual capital of Spain, where Christian, Muslim, and Jewish civilizations layered their architectures into something utterly singular. At golden hour, the old city catches the setting sun from every angle at once. From across the river, it looks like a painting someone forgot to stop perfecting. There is a Portuguese word, saudade, for a bittersweet ache towards something beautiful, something just out of reach. Porto was built for that feeling. The city rises above the Douro in layers, azulejo facades catching light in shades of cobalt and gold, its waterfront dark and atmospheric at dusk, iron bridges stretching across a river that turns the color of old amber as the sun goes down. The Porto that stays with you isn't the postcard version. It's the one you find when you wander beyond the waterfront, worn, beautiful, and completely alive. 3 remain, and what comes next is a different atmosphere entirely. These are not simply beautiful places, they are the places that have made people fall in love with Europe itself. The 3 most romantic places in Europe. There is an hour in Prague, just before sunrise, when fog sits on the Vltava and the city hasn't woken yet, when the place feels almost impossibly romantic. The Charles Bridge stretches across the river in silence. Gothic towers rise in every direction. 900 years of layered architecture hangs in the gray-blue air like something dreamed. In the evenings, the old town fills with candlelight. The castle above glows amber against the dark. For those planning an extended stay, Prague's historic neighborhoods offer accommodation at almost every price point, making this one of Europe's most romantic cities far more attainable than it might first appear. No city in Europe is built quite like Ronda. Perched on the edge of a gorge dropping nearly 100 meters to the valley floor, the city sits divided, old and new towns separated by nothing but air and a single extraordinary bridge. At sunset, the gorge fills with shadow, while the bridge and the white city above catch the last red light. Swallows circle, the valley turns purple. Sit on a terrace above the void, and you will understand why this place stays with people long after they leave. Some destinations earn their reputation, and then there is Paris, a city that didn't just earn it, but invented the very idea of what a romantic city could be. It begins with the light. Parisian light in the late afternoon, filtered through wide boulevards and pale Haussmann stone, is warm without being harsh. It softens everything it touches. The Seine flows through the center of it all, lined with iron bridges and lanterns that have burned in the same places for over a century. Notre Dame rises from its island once again. The Eiffel Tower moves from iron gray to warm amber, and then, when the city lights rise, into something entirely otherworldly. Paris is the most romantic city in the world not because someone decided it should be, but because it actually is. And for those willing to stay in the quieter arrondissements, where smaller hotels put you inside the city's daily rhythm, it can be far more personal and far more attainable than its reputation suggests. That's romance. That's Europe. That's Paris. Those were the 10 most romantic places in Europe, from the candlelit lanes of Český Krumlov to the gorge-edge drama of Ronda, and finally to the city that has been teaching the world what romance looks like for 300 years. Which of these places called to you most? Let us know in the comments. We'll see you on the next journey. Which of these romantic places would you most want to visit? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through the most romantic places in Europe, be sure to subscribe for more cinematic travel discoveries from around the world.